Dear students, so last class in the previous video you have clear idea about what is tissue, right? What is tissue? Today it's 1st May. We have entered into 5th month, right? Today it is 01/05/2021, then class 7, subject biology, right? See, dear students, you have already read about the tissue. In the previous video, you have clear idea about tissue. Then we are still continuing the first lesson, that is plant tissues. Right. So in the previous video, I have told you what is a tissue. So what is a tissue? Is group of cells where the cells are similar in structure, function, shape, size and location, right? So bunch of cells or group of cells is called a tissue. Up to that it is clear. The next thing that we read in the previous video was that while studying, for the purpose of study, we have classified the plant tissues into two basic categories. The first one is meristematic tissue and the second one is permanent tissue. I have told you their feature too in the previous video. I told meristematic tissues, the cells which make this meristematic tissue, they are thin walled or they may not have wall, right? They are full of cytoplasm. Intercellular space is either not present or very less. Vacuoles are not at all seen. Rarely it may happen at some cases that vacuoles may be there. Right? And above all, the very important feature of these cells of the meristematic tissue is that they continuously go on dividing. As I have told you, if they go on dividing, their number will multiply. The cells number multiplies. As the cells number multiplies, this process is known as growth. Growth is just adding of a number of cells or multiplying the number of cells. The quantity of cells increases, and as a result, what we observe, what no change is noticed from outside in a plant body is the development. The size of the plant body increases. It increases in size, it increases in thickness, it increases in branches, it increases in the number of leaves. So there is increase in the size of the living being or the individual or the plant, and this is called as the development that we can notice from outside. But who is behind all this development? The growth. And what is growth? It is the activity of the cells of meristematic tissue. On the other hand, I have told you of the permanent tissue. I have told you, as the name suggests, permanent. Permanent means there is no change. They do not keep on changing like the meristematic tissues. Right? The cells that make meristematic tissue, they have a well-defined cell wall. Their cytoplasm turns little viscous. The density becomes higher. You know, viscosity is physical property of liquids, where some liquids have free flow, some liquids do not have free flow. And if you compare water with honey, and the water, if you pour, while pouring water, the water will flow freely, whereas honey will go slowly. You may have seen the ketchup, tomato ketchup also, it comes slowly, right? So tomato ketchup, honey, they are comparatively, if you compare them with the viscosity of water, you say honey is viscous. So similarly, the cytoplasm inside the cells of a permanent tissue, they become viscous or sometimes dry up. The cells turn into dead. Some, and because of this, very big vacuoles are created, and sometimes whole of the cell turns into vacuole, and you will not able to see any of the cytoplasm, right? So what is the utility in the plant body? That may, you may have a question. I have told you, if these meristematic tissues are responsible for the growth process and are consequently resulting in development of the plant body, similarly these permanent tissues, they are responsible for various other aspects such as mechanical support, strength to the plant body, then mechanical support, the leaf base, the midrib, the branches, then they may be responsible for storing the starch or the carbohydrate that is produced because of photosynthesis. Then they may help in the process of photosynthesis. Sometimes they store water, sometimes they store carbohydrate, as I have told you. Sometimes they have protective feature. They protect the fruit, the shell, the skin. These are permanent tissues. Sometimes they help in the, in case of water plants, some of the permanent tissues. In between them, I have told you, big places are there which are filled with air, and because of this the volume of the plant body increases, and they keep on floating on the surface of water. That is called buoyancy. So this presence of air in between the cells, that helps them become lighter as compared to the volume when you compare the size of the plant body, and they help in the floating of these plants on the surface of water. So these are so many different important or necessities of these permanent tissues. So you cannot say that permanent tissues are of no use as they are not causing growth and development, right? So they have their own importance, and meristematic tissues have their own importance. Today we will read about the meristematic tissues, right, in detail. So today's topic include meristematic tissue. Right, meristematic tissue, as I have told you, the features already I have told you. I'll just write here for your reference. The thin cell wall, or sometimes no cell wall. This is the first feature. Second, what is there? No chlorophyll, no chloroplast in the cell organelle. Third thing, full of cytoplasm, full of cytoplasm. They have full of cytoplasm. Then no intercellular space. Then no vacuole, no vacuole. Then keep on dividing. They keep on dividing. So these are some of the important features, right, that is seen in case of, and they are generally small in size, right? Now you please see the mechanism. In case of, suppose this is a cell, right? This is a cell and this divides. Suppose this is a cell and this is a cell, its roll number is 1, and it divides into this one cell, another cell, that is cell number 2, cell number 3, right? Now once this cell 1 divides into cell 2 and 3, this cell number 1 will not exist no more, will exist no more. Now what you will see at that side? At that site you will see cell number 2 and cell number 3. After some time, the cell number 2 and cell number 3, they both divide. This cell number 2 will give rise to cell number 4, cell number 5, and this will give to cell number say 6 and cell number 7. Once these 3 will change into 7 and 6, this completely will change like this. Instead of 3, you will have 6, 7. Instead of 2, you will have. Now you see the life started with this cell number 1. And now you see after one step how many cells are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 cells are there. Right? This, remember this. If you want to, at this moment when you will able to see cell number 4, 5, 6, 7, at that time if I ask you, hey, go to this site, go to this part of the plant and find cell number 1, will not be there, because this cell number 1 itself has turned into this 4, 5, 6, 7 cell, right? Again in the next step what will happen? This cell number 5 will give rise to say cell number 8, 9, this will give to 10, this 11, this will give to 12, 13, 14. Now you see this cell number 1 which started the life is seen no more. Now what will be the scene? This will be the scene. Now this cell 1 is not there. Now that cell 1 has turned into these many cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells. Now you have 8 cells. Do you understand? So this cell 1 has turned into 8 cells. Now you may say, sir, how this small cell? Yes, it partitions into say half like this, and this partitions into half like this, and after some time they develop into full cell as a small baby is born, and after many years that small baby changes into a grown up man. Is that clear to all of you? Similarly, these cells also they go on dividing. Now this one cell has changed into this. This is cell division, and because of this so many cells or the number of cells get multiplied, and this is the main purpose of the meristematic tissues. Right. Now you see, for the sake of our study, we have classified this meristematic tissue into 3 different classes, 3 different types or kinds you can see. First one is the apical meristem. Apical meristem. So meristematic tissues can be substituted by the term meristem. Remember, if to avoid writing 2 words, we simply write meristem. What is the meaning of this word meristem? The meaning of this word meristem is meristematic tissue. Is that clear to all of you? So see, apical meristem, then the lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. Right? You see these names, how we have given these names to the meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues are named, where from we have got this name. I will just draw is the figure of a plant, right? Figure of a plant, simple plant, right? You see this, if this is a plant, so I have told you while telling you the parts of the plant in the previous class, I have told you this is apical region, this is apical region, this top head, right? The upper head, apex, and this is the lower head. This is the upper extreme and this is the lower extreme. This this portion of the plant is known as apex, and this is the upper apex towards the sun, and this is the lowest lower apex. It's the lowest part of the plant, right? And you see what we have noticed, these are the two regions in the plant body where the plant growth is seen. Growth means multiplication in the number of cells, and the type of cells which keep on multiplying, what do we call them? Meristematic tissues they form. So this growth occurs today here, again some more cells will develop here, and after some days this same position will come here. Like this the plant will turn into. So after some time what will happen? This go on growing. So apical meristem causes the apical growth. That's why the name apical meristem. Its main function is it causes upward growth, and here in the root tip downward growth, right towards the gravity. So what is apical meristem? You can, with this you can understand why the name apical meristem. Question you may have, why the name apical meristem? Why the name apical meristem? The answer is because the meristem is, because this meristem, you can write, this meristem is present in apical region. Apical region. What are the apical regions of the plant? One, the shoot tip, and the second one is the root tip, right? So this is the shoot tip, this is shoot tip, and this one lower apex is called the root tip. So apical meristem is located or seen, or simply you can say the meristematic tissues which are seen present in the apical region of the plant body, they are called as apical meristem. What is the function? Now question, what is the function? What is the function of apical meristem? What is the function? So answer of this question is apical meristem the apical meristem causes upward means towards the sun, right? Upward development and upward growth and development in the shoot apex, in the shoot apex, right, in the shoot apex, and downward growth and development in the root apex. So what is its function? So the growth and development that is carried out or by a particular tissue that is towards the sun, you know, sun, and towards Geo, earth, right? So towards the earth, apical meristem is present. If a question comes, where will you be able to locate apical meristem? You can say apical meristem is located at the shoot tip and the root tip, and it causes the growth in the shoot tip upwards towards the sun, whereas it causes the growth and development downwards in the root tip, right? This is all about the apical meristem. Then you see, we will come to the lateral meristem, right? So lateral meristem we will see, as the name lateral. So lateral, is parallel to the surface of earth. You may have read latitudes on the globe. You may have read about the globe. You have lines of this type. The central line is equator and you have the lines. These lines are called latitudes because they are lateral, parallel to the surface. Similarly, on that basis, the second one is lateral meristem. This is the second kind of meristematic tissue, and this is present in this peripheral regions of this. So here what type of tissue? I have not written apical meristem. Apical meristem. Here what type of tissues? Apical meristem. Right? So see, where will you find the apical meristem? Remember, apical meristem is present there. Then where is the location of the lateral meristem? Lateral meristem is found on the sides. Lateral meristem. Right? Though the first name apical is based on its location, right, and kind of growth, right? So kind of growth it causes is not the reason to name apical meristem. It is just its location where it is found in the apical region of the plant. So it's known as the apical meristem is present in the shoot apex and the root apex. That is the basis of naming. But for this lateral meristem, its presence is not the reason of its naming. The reason of its naming is kind of growth, kind, or you can say direction of growth. So lateral meristem is named based on its feature, the kind of growth it causes in the plant body. So what happens, you may have seen, you may have planted a small sapling, a small plant. After few months you see this stem becomes thick. Earlier very thin, even thinner than this finger, and after many years you can see such big trunk you can see. Why? Because this thin, earlier first day it was so thin, second day after few days it may have turned into like little bit thicker, then further thicker, then, and this way it goes on increasing. So what kind of growth? You can see the growth is parallel to the earth, lateral growth. So lateral meristem, first question, why the name lateral meristem? Question, why the name lateral meristem? Why the name lateral meristem? Your answer is because it causes lateral, that is parallel to the surface of earth. It causes lateral growth and development, means it is responsible for the thickness of the. So question second one, what is the function of? Question is, what's the function? So the second kind of meristematic tissue's name is based on the kind of functions it carries out. So what is the function? What is the function of lethal meristem? What is the function? So answer will be, it is responsible, you can say, responsible for the thickness in the stem or trunk, right? It is responsible for the thickness in the stem or trunk. This is all about the lateral meristem. So must remember two aspects. Where is the location, where will you find a particular tissue, and what is its function. These two aspects are very important. About its feature of the cells I have already discussed in the previous video, right? So now I have a question, where will you find the apical meristem? In the apical region, shoot apex and the root apex. What is its function? Function of the apical meristem causes, in the shoot tip it causes upward growth and development, in the root tip it causes downward growth and development towards the geom or the earth, right? The second comes lateral meristem, is found on the sides of the stem and it helps in the in increasing the thickness of the stem, right? Clear? And you see, next we have the intercellary meristem. Next we have the intercellary meristem, that